Welcome to Death and Aliens, an in-depth look at horror and sci-fi TV from two friends who vaguely know what they're doing. I'm Courtney,
And I'm MK.
and how are ya?
I am okay. I'm very good. I'm just also dying. Um, it is now today, January 28th or something. Or
Ninth.
what? Well, today is the 20th. I don't know what day the episode
Today,
comes.
the 29th, that's my friend's birthday.
Oh, okay. Well, happy birthday to your friend.
Happy
It
birthday,
is
Amanda.
it is
I
the
don't think she knows I do a podcast. So
oh, great. Happy birthday. Here's a podcast for you.
right.
Um, It's on the 29th of January, so it's now been officially public for a while now, so I can share it on the podcast. But I am pregnant.
Ooh, yay, how exciting.
Which is why I've looked like shit for the last 3 months of the podcast. Because
She
I
could
can,
tell you what the gender is because she knows and it'll be out by then, but she won't tell me, so
yeah,
you can't know either.
no, not yet. I haven't been able to dye my hair since August. And everything makes me uncomfortable. So it's going really, really well. Um, I feel so bad for my poor husband because like I don't every like the other night he just tried to like I was in bed and he came in and he like tried to like snuggle up to me and I literally started screaming at him in my sleep to stop touching me.
Poor
He,
thing.
he was like, you're something else last
Aggressive.
night. And I was like, I just everything makes me uncomfortable. So but I am good. I am healthy, and the baby is healthy. So other than the fact that like I still throw up like once a week and hate everyone and everything, I'm great.
I love that for you. I'm so excited. You have a summer baby.
Yeah,
At least you're not pregnant during summer.
facts.
That's what they kept saying to Rachel because Ezra was born in May.
Yeah,
And I was like, at least you're not pregnant, especially during like Louisiana summer. Could you
yeah.
imagine?
No, here is not quite as bad as there, but I'm due in June,
Yeah.
so it's gonna be hot. But then in the hottest part of the
But you'll
year
be
is
locked in.
I was gonna say that's why the hottest part of the year is gonna be the part that I'm not allowed to do anything anyway. So
Great. That's perfect. That's the perfect time to have a child.
yeah,
Other than it really like messes with like birthdays because everybody's out of school and stuff. But like,
yeah. But then you
well,
can
not you though. Not you. You'll
no,
still
we're
be in
still in school in
school.
June. But also like
Yeah.
as someone who had a spring birthday in a place where spring doesn't exist, um, all my friends who had summer birthdays had like pool parties and like going
Mhm.
to the park and like you could do cool birthday parties for your summer birthday babies. I went bowling because like what else can you do when it's 6 feet of snow in March?
Yeah. I mean,
So,
mine's November, but I also had cool birthday parties because
but
it's
that's because
Louisiana.
you don't have
Like we had like
winter.
scavenger hunts and stuff, but like we had a lot of problems with like people like having summer birthdays and everybody's out of town for your birthday. So like you have your four
Yeah.
friends over for a sleepover, and that's what summer birthdays were about.
Yeah, but like that
Um,
sounds cooler anyway.
I mean, that's fine.
I don't
That's fine if
have
that's what you want.
well, I mean, how am I supposed to know what the kid's gonna want? I don't like that
hmm
many people.
hmm hmm
Dan does not like that many people.
hmm
Genetically, probably our kid will not like me.
I don't know that that's a genetic thing. Not sure that that counts in genetics,
I don't know.
but it might be a socialization thing if you don't socialize them and let them meet other people.
Well, I mean, they're gonna go to school. They're gonna have to have friends at school.
Yeah, yeah, theoretically.
Theoretically, yeah. But yeah, so that's my life. That's all I've got going on. I take a lot of tests and I sleep a lot and I don't eat nearly as much as I probably should. Everybody said that you get really, really hungry in the second trimester. I'm not.
Yeah.
I still hate
But you're
everything.
eating in your second trimester and you were struggling through your first.
That's true.
So
I did not eat like
you
every day.
have
I had like
changed from
I
your
had
first
that's true. At
trimester.
least I can eat because I was
Yeah.
very sick in my first trimester and I would go like days without nutrients.
Yeah, yeah. Good stuff.
Thank
Good
God for
stuff.
prenatal vitamins, or I don't think that the kid would have a brain in its head, because
Yeah.
I had so long where I couldn't eat or drink anything.
Mhm.
So that's how I am. I'm also wearing a Christmas
Well,
sweater because I refuse to believe that Christmas is over, but that's fine.
I almost wore a Christmas sweater. And then I was
But
like, no,
also,
that's crazy.
I got this for Christmas from my father-in-law, and it's a little Grinch sweater, and it's
Uh,
so comfortable that like I will wear it all year. Like I don't care. It doesn't have a season. It is the
yeah,
most
it's
comfortable sweater.
Grinch.
It's the most comfortable sweater I own. Done. It doesn't
I
have
got
to.
mine on Christmas Day from my mom. And so
Yeah.
now I'm like, should I wear it? It's not Christmas, but I got it for
Yeah.
Christmas. And so like I've only worn it once.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did almost also wear a Christmas sweater today. It is solidly January 20th. But that
Yeah.
was
But also,
okay.
I had a day off of work today because it was -9 degrees outside and kids couldn't walk to school. So
Yeah,
still
I'm really
Christmas.
ready for I don't know, real cold weather. We get like a cold day here and there. We were projected to potentially have snow on Sunday, and then we did not.
Mm.
But February is our coldest month, and that's when we got snow last year, I think.
Yeah, my
Truly, days don't matter, so I couldn't tell you for sure. But February is usually our coldest month, so I'm still like holding out hope that we get like our lowest high this week is 47.
um my lowest high for the week is 10.
See, that's what I want. That's what I want.
It is currently 14 with a real feel of -3.
Hmm. It is currently 59 and feels like 53. And I'm just sick of it. I just want winter. I want cold, I want winter, I want snow. It's just not fair. It's just not fair.
Yeah.
Um, it's a real bummer, but
Sure.
it's okay. I'm surviving the non-winter by really deep diving into some books. I've planned for this year. I want to read the series that I said I've never that I like just didn't get a chance to read last year. So I've started both Assistant to the Villain and Zodiac Academy. I also started Court of Thorns and Roses, but my buddy read has fallen apart, so I've only read 5 chapters because everyone else has not shown up.
Uh,
So I might just read that by myself, but now it's not in my reading calendar.
yeah.
Um, I love them both. Assistant to the Villain and did you read Assistant to the Villain yet?
I started it, but then I stopped trying to read 7 books at the same time and
Sure.
went back to like actually finishing a book. So
Hmm.
it is on my list. I will be reading it soon, but I have not.
I'm only like 10 or 15 chapters in or something. Like
I was
I'm
like,
really pretty early, like 30% in.
I think I'm like
Um,
2 chapters in maybe.
I really liked it. I love Zodiac Academy.
I do too.
I am 9 chapters in, which is they're very long chapters, so I'm like almost 200
Yeah.
pages in. We're reading as a pace read, so like everyone we've split it up into like 3 chapters at a time, so it's roughly 50 pages, between 50 and 70 pages per read. And then everyone kind of like comments at the same time, and then you all like mark off when you're done. And when over half the people are done, we set a 3-day timer for the reset time. I keep
Okay.
being busy, so I keep being like the day before the new check-in time starts. I'm ready. But I love it. I see what you mean. There's two different sisters. I don't know which one I like better. Um,
I
I think I like Darcy.
That makes sense to me. Um,
Mhm.
I I like them both a lot. I think I like Tori better, but
Mm.
it's because of the I like her MMC better.
I don't know
You don't know
who
who
those
their
people are.
well, yeah, you don't know who
Yeah.
their love interests are.
I
Yeah.
mean, I know like Tori is just started. Like the last thing I read, she was going to Orion for her first lesson.
Oh wait, no,
Um,
that's Darcy.
yes. So Tori is
Yes.
going to lessons with Darius and has not started them yet.
Yes.
I like Darius, so I'm hoping that is her MMC. Um, I think I would have picked Team Fire because while I am a water sign, I seem to pick Team Fire of everything in my life. And I like Darius. I think I'm gonna like Caleb, but God, I want to punch him in the face right now. Like I just want to like break his arms off.
No, all four of the eras are pretty insufferable in the first book.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
that is what it seems.
well, to be fair, I'm gonna say I said the first book. I've read four books. They're all
Yeah.
still pretty insufferable.
Sure. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be
But
like
to
the
be
drop of a
fair,
dime, but like
right, to be fair, it's like a 15 book series. So like,
right. And I set up the read in my group, and so
yeah.
we're doing like the full chart. So we're reading the three and then like the Ruthless Fae or whatever.
Oh,
Like
you're doing okay, because that's what I'm
I'm
doing too.
doing
I'm
it in
doing the
order.
full
Yeah.
track. So because so I will say I'm on Dark Fae right now, which is the first of the Ruthless Fae series, and it's way hornier, first of all.
Interesting.
Right. Like so
I don't
I'll
know if
just
anything is about past the first book, but I didn't know what the first book was about, to be fair, before I started it.
right.
But
No, and it's way hornier. And there is one female main character in this book and four guys that she is like fucking around with all four of them. It is wild.
interesting. That
Um,
is wild.
but it's in the same world and like the characters from the books that I've already read, like the Zodiac books, are like mentioned, but I'm not far enough into it to figure out how everything
The
connects yet.
intertwine.
And it's like one of those things where you will feel frustrated when you start Dark
Mm.
Fae because you're gonna be like, because the ending of is it the Awakening? Is that the third one?
Yeah, that's the first one.
Oh, the first one is the Awakening, and then there's the Reckoning.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
then
I don't know what the third one is.
which ones have I read?
Um, but I will tell you that is how I felt with reading Once Upon a Broken Heart after finishing Caraval, which
Oh
was
no,
shortly
okay. The
after.
Reckoning is the third one. So it's the Zodiac Academy,
Oh,
Ruthless Fae, and then the Reckoning, and then
Ruthless Fae. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, and then you move into the
yeah. Hmm.
Ruthless Boys series.
Hmm.
So, but the ending of the Reckoning was a big ending, and then I started Dark Fae, and I go, what? I don't care about these people.
That is totally fair because that's how I felt. Like I read the Caraval series. I've almost read all of Stephanie Carver's books. But I read Caraval, and Spectacular was the last one, but it's a novella. It's like a winter novella, and it's like
Yeah.
fine. Um, but then I started Once Upon a Broken Heart, which is set in the same universe, but it's different main characters, and I was like, how are these books intertwined? And then like as you like I finished the first book and you
Yeah.
like figure it out. But like I was really confused and a little frustrated at the beginning because I loved Caraval so much that I was a little thrown off. But I ended up really liking Once Upon a Broken Heart
Yeah.
too.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, no, but so right now that's actually the book I'm reading right now is Dark Fate. I finished 11/22/63 finally.
do you like it?
I did. It's just long. It's very
Yeah.
long. Um and I think I said the problem is romantasy is long, but it's often usually either smutty or battly, like
Yeah, so
fight
it's a really quick read.
quick read, whereas
Yeah.
Stephen King is cerebral as fuck.
So slow, yeah.
So I'm like, it's all in my head, and I'm like, I don't even understand what I'm reading sometimes. But so I finally finished Eleven
Yeah.
Twenty Two Sixty Three, and I finished Sword Song, which was the Last Kingdom book that I was reading. So I'm now
Mhm.
fully focused on Dark Fae.
Nice, nice. I love that for you. I'm really liking the series. I can't wait to read more. Those are my main two series for the year. That is the Villa and the fifth or sixth one or whatever is coming out this year.
Oh, that's right.
Um, and then I I've set like my two like I've set like goals, my two like big ones that I want to focus on is like you read like 12 classics in a year. Those are like goals. So I have 12 classics, which we'll talk about in a minute. And then I want to read like 12 like manga or graphic novels.
Okay.
Because I realized I read the first Five Nights at Freddy's book.
Okay.
And I really liked it. I was like, I need to read more graphic novels. I used to like these
So
a lot.
I have some suggestions of really good graphic
Okay.
novels. One is now I'm gonna forget what it's called. But
Hmm.
it's written by George Takai.
Okay.
And it is about his life growing up in the internment camp, the Japanese
Guys,
internment
that
camp.
sounds really sad.
No, it is, but it's I mean, but he lived, like he survived and he gets out of it. But it's called They Called Us Enemy.
Okay. I mean,
It's
obviously he survived it.
yeah, and it's beautiful. Um,
Um,
and then
I have
the
okay.
other one that I love is very short. I taught it to my sixth graders. And it is by My Win, and it is called Pilu of the Woods, and it's just basically it's really about like it's like Inside Out kind of where like the character is like learning how to like express emotions instead of like letting them swallow her up, but it's beautifully written and it's the graphics are gorgeous.
I've added it. I currently have, so I just read Five Nights at Freddy and I've gotten Persepolis by
Oh,
Mary
okay.
Jane Satrapi.
Mhm.
Um, it's one of the books for one of my groups I'm in for the month, and I was like, perfect, add it to my list. And so I got, I think there's a non-graphic novel version, but I got the
Mhm.
graphic novel version
Yeah.
from the library this past week, so I haven't started it yet.
Okay.
But I've saved both of those. I think I want to do more of that, and I want to read 12 translated works this year. I may have done that last year. I really like, because I really liked Before the Coffee Gets Cold. And I read a similar one that I really liked. I can't remember what it was. And then I also read Strange Pictures. And those were like two of my favorite books last year.
Well, it's so funny because
And
both of the translated books that I immediately thought of that I absolutely loved were depressing. So,
well, no, I cried. Like I don't cry a lot in books, but like Before the Coffee Gets Cold is like it's depressing. And do you know about you know about it?
no.
Okay, so it's this like coffee shop. Oh, and the Full Moon Coffee Shop. That was the other one I read. And so the Before the Coffee Gets Cold is the whole idea of the story is it's like kind of broken up into anthologies with one main
Yeah.
through line, and you go to this coffee shop and you can like travel back in time like once, or you can either travel back or travel forward, but you have to have a specific time and place in your mind, and you can go back with your cup of coffee, but you have to come back before the coffee gets cold. And so people go back to see like loved ones who have passed away, or to see like how their life turned out. Like if they know they're gonna like die soon, they're gonna figure out how their life, like everybody moved on without them basically. Like, and so
Yeah.
it's really kind of depressing, but it's also pretty like beautiful. And
Yeah.
it got me in my feels. Strange Pictures is just like it's kind of got some depressing moments, but it's also like really weird, and it's also kind of anthology based, but all the stories tie together, and like by the end of the picture you figure out how the pictures go in line to create this one storyline between all these people.
Yeah.
They have another one called Strange Houses that recently came out that I'll read
Yeah.
probably.
Last year I read a book called The Last Train to Istanbul, which was originally
Oh
written in
yeah, I don't know that
Turkish.
I'll read that.
And it was originally written in Turkish, but it was about a Turkish Muslim woman who married a Jewish man, and then their family was mad, so they moved to France and were in France when the Nazis started to take over. And it's about them trying to help other Turkish Jews escape France and get back to Turkey.
Yeah, that
Super
sounds
depressed,
really sad.
super
Yeah.
sad. The other one, even worse actually.
Very depressing.
It's called The Diving Bell and the Butterfly,
I don't
and
know that
it's
I've heard
super
that one.
super famous. But it is about it is written by a man who was in a diving accident and it went into a coma for 20 days, and when he woke up he was paralyzed, and it is his story of him being trapped inside his own body.
Mm-mm. No, I will not. I will not read
Yeah,
that. That is my biggest fear.
they were both beautiful,
Mhm.
super fucking upsetting.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably finish the Before the Coffee Gets Cold series because I think there's like five or six of them, or maybe more.
Yeah, that sounds
And
like
then
way sweeter.
yeah, and Strange Houses, and then stick to my Asian horror. I think is my goal.
I guess
Um,
technically I'm reading a translated work right now too,
Anna
because I guess
Karenina.
yeah, Anna Karenina was written in Russian first, so
Yeah. So I also thought about like doing some crossover. Maybe I'll do some classics like that are both translation
yeah.
and classic, and then call not too bad. But while we're transitioning into the podcast, I guess we can talk about this before we do the show. So, do you have a quote for me before I
Oh,
talk
sure,
about
sure,
our book
sure.
club?
Yeah. Um, there are there. I just forgot how to speak English. Sorry.
That's okay.
There are times when even the best of us have trouble with commitment, and we may be surprised by the commitments we're willing to let slip out of our grasps. Commitments are complicated. We may surprise ourselves by the commitments we're willing to make. True commitment takes effort and sacrifice, which is why sometimes we have to learn the hard way to choose our commitments very carefully.
Heard. Heard. Um, well, obviously we're talking about Penny Dreadful, so I want to talk about our book club before we get into it. They're all books you've read, so it doesn't matter where I'm at. You'll be there too.
Yeah, that's it.
I did not finish Frankenstein because I got hella busy, but I'm gonna go back and read it maybe before the end of the month because I want to count up my classics list.
Yeah.
So, and everyone I mentioned like reading it a lot, everyone was like, this is my favorite classic book. And I was like, cool, 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 cool. So I'm definitely gonna finish it. I
No.
just didn't in our time frame.
I mean, I
Um,
didn't either because I'm reading it with my students right now and they
right.
could not read it in a month. But
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
we
So
did we're
that'll
up to chapter 8.
yeah, I think I read like the first letter or something. Like I didn't get there. I got really busy with like hosting Christmas and New Year's and
Yeah.
etc. So like everything was insane. Um, so we're doing Picture of Dorian Gray this month, which I have started. I think I'm like 20% or something. But
Okay.
it feels like I'm farther. I really like it. I had some misconceptions, it seems. I didn't realize Dorian Gray did not paint his own picture, someone else
Mm-mm.
did. This
Correct.
Harry guy or
Yeah.
Ballas something maybe.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought
Yeah,
like
no,
he painted
he
I thought he painted his soul into the picture with his
no,
own
no, no.
hand.
Someone else trapped his soul into the painting. He did not do it. He does not have magical
I
powers.
see. I see. That makes sense. I'm not terribly far in, so like he's telling the story of Gray to the painter is telling the story of Gray to his friend,
Hmm.
and Gray has just shown up, and the friend's like, "I want to meet him," and he's like, "Absolutely not," and then he meets him anyways,
Yeah.
and so that's kind of where I am, but I don't think I understood the story before I started reading it. So that is it, but I really like it, and I am reading it on our app for Fable, and on the app you can it's a classic, so it's free on there, and you can go through and annotate and make comments and ask questions and add emojis, and so I've been doing that in the chapters I've read so far. So you will see the comment where I said, "Oh, I thought Dorian Gray did his own picture because I did put that on Fable." At the moment, I learned he did not. So yeah, and like you can like highlight quotes and stuff. So there are a couple of quotes I've highlighted. But I think it's really fun to read it that way because then like it's just like doing it on your Kindle, but you could actually like I have a paperweight, so I can't leave comments or anything on my Kindle, but you
Yeah.
can on like the Fire and stuff. Um, so I've been really enjoying it. So I will probably finish it before the end of the month. We're getting close. But I'm really liking it, so
But
I'll
also,
for
if
sure
you
finish
want
it.
to join the book club and you aren't going to finish it by the end of the month, because this is the first time we're really talking about it and it's
Oh,
January
yeah.
29th, we understand.
Yeah, and next month we'll be reading Dracula. Feels like the right. We didn't talk about this before, but
No, we
that feels
did.
like the
I
right.
thought
Did we? Oh, okay.
yeah, I think we did. I think I said that after that Dracula was probably because after, well, yes, in our 2-hour episode where I talked about Van Helsing, I said that Dracula was probably the next best thing to do.
So when this comes out, we'll be getting ready to start Dracula. So um, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
That'll be a fun time. Also free. All of these again, all of these are classics so far, so they're all free on Fable to just go download and read.
Yes.
They're probably also free on like Kindle Library. A lot of classics are free
Yeah, a
on there
lot of them
too.
are. I think they
Um,
are. Also, if you are psycho and want to like print them for yourselves or something, Project Gutenberg has
yeah,
like printable copies of all of these books if you want to
yeah,
like write on them.
right, 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 right. And if you do that, tell us about it because I don't have the mental energy that I'd want to have to do that. Um, but yeah, so that is where we are with our book. Sorry, I'm keeping the baby tomorrow. I was trying to figure out my time.
Ah,
But that's not who texted me, so it's not helpful.
I don't know.
Um, it's fine. So I'm all to say I'm enjoying Dorian Gray. I am excited it makes some of the comments he made in this episode particularly a little bit more
Yeah.
interesting. So I'm really hoping to dive into classics. I'm reading Wuthering Heights before the movie comes out, so I've got my classic list, and I've read it before. It's one of my favorite
Yeah.
books. I loved it. So I'm really excited to revisit after
See,
New
I'm
Year's.
just mostly mad that the movie is coming out.
Like I watched, so I got the AMC Movie Pass,
Yeah.
um, and I saw a different or new trailer for Wuthering, and I'm even more excited now. I know you're not, and I am. I'm so excited.
I
So it comes
just
out on Valentine's.
I think I have to like convince myself that it's not Wuthering Heights and it's a totally different
Yeah.
story and I might like it. But like,
I will tell you, the new trailer looks more like Wuthering Heights than the original trailer that was released.
okay,
I
because
think
you're
the original trailer was meant to be a little more inflammatory and marketing purposes, which is exactly what it did.
yeah.
But this one feels a little more Wuthering Heights than the last one did. Like they don't feel like the same trailer,
Okay.
which
I'll
is
have
interesting to me.
I'll have
So
to
I don't know what's gonna happen.
yeah, I'll have to watch the new trailer and see how I
Yeah.
feel.
Yeah, they definitely feel very different. You get more of the ghosty vibes and the like haunting and like the like Victorian vibes and stuff than you do
Okay.
in the first one. So this is Penny Dreadful, season 1, episode 6. It is called What Death Can Join Together. It aired June 15th of 2014, which is my sister's birthday. Um, it is rated 8 out of 10. Now, when I tell you these next few things, it is going to pick you up and drop you into 2014.
Oh, I'm
I
sure.
assume because it did for me. The number one song, which was also one of our go-to karaoke songs in college, was "Fancy" by Iggy Azalea and Charlie XCX, which I think this is like original Charlie. Like I think this may have been where she got her start. I didn't think about that until recently.
Um,
Does that sound
I
right?
I thought she had one big thing before this.
She may have.
But also, what doesn't sound right to me is it being while you were in college, because I was fully already graduated.
You
Like
had
for
just graduated. Yeah, this
no,
was my like
I
senior year.
graduated in December of 2013 because I graduated
Right.
early. So like for
Mhm.
me, I was like fully 6 months out of college before the song ever came
Yeah.
out, and I was like,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yes, I it was my senior. Well, it was actually the summer before my senior year of college because it was right before my friend passed away, and so he's who I used to do karaoke with.
Oh, okay.
So it like dropped me back in this time. It was a definitive time for me.
Yeah.
Um, the number one movie was 22 Jump Street, which I don't know if I ever saw it. I watched 21 Jump Street. The remix,
I
obviously.
think I may have seen it once, but it wasn't as good as the first one.
Yeah, I that is also what I heard about it, so I wasn't too into it. And the number one book, which I did read much later, was Mr. Mercedes by Stephen King. It is a series.
Okay.
I don't think I knew that when I read the book. I don't think I knew that till recently, and I read the book probably like 8 years ago.
Okay.
Um, it is a lot, and it is heralded as one of his best series, but I didn't love it as much. And I heard the TV show was really graphic, which was it was adapted by HBO, so like that makes sense. But if I recall, it was like pretty assaulty and pretty like weird and like a little bit
Hmm.
supernatural, which I know a lot of his stuff has like supernatural elements into it, but like not really. Um, I again wasn't one of my favorites, didn't complete the series, will not be going back to read this series. But it is heralded a lot of people. It's like their top book by him. So like by
Okay.
all means.
Well, I just finished my first Stephen King book, and it will probably be a while before I go back to anyone. So
Yeah, you could read you should read Misery if you're gonna read another one though. I really liked that one.
I do
I
think
liked the movie too.
I do think eventually I need to read it. I know it'll fuck me up. Um,
Yeah. Misery,
but
nah, you'll be good with Misery.
okay. Well,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
the other thing about 11/22/63, parts of it take place in Derry, and there are references to
Hmm.
characters in it, and there like are a lot of references to the events of it. Um, they are subtle enough that if you have not read it, it does not affect your understanding of the book at all.
Yeah.
But they're
Hmm.
interesting enough that I'm like, I really should probably read that book eventually.
Yeah, I mean I really like it. I think it's one of I know I mean a lot of people are like it's really crazy, but I think it's one of his easier books.
Okay.
Because I mean you kind of know what you're getting with the book.
Yeah.
It's not very whatever. But like I haven't read a ton of Stephen King to be fair. I think I've read like 3 or 4
Yeah.
um of his books. But and I'm honestly I don't know that I'm going to read a ton of them. I just don't get into them that well.
No.
Somebody commented the other day and they were like, his book about writing is the best book he's ever written.
No, actually I lied. I have read On Writing. On Writing is actually very, very good.
So I haven't read it, but I got it 3 years ago for Christmas. It's on my shelf.
No, it's
I need to read it.
actually, yes, I will say of all of Stephen King's books, On
Mhm.
Writing is his best book.
That is what everyone keeps saying. And I'm like, I get that he's like a specific type of writer, and I love that for him. But I can't get into his books as much as I want to. Like I really want to read the Dark Tower series because I think the story's fascinating, but I just can't do it. And so I'm gonna read his book on writing one day. I do have it. I got it the same year I got Brittany's book, so which I also haven't read. So
Great.
those are two that need to be read. Um, but yeah, so Mr. Mercedes, it's got a whole TV show. I also haven't watched it. I probably won't watch it because I wasn't a huge fan of the book, but
Fair.
it's okay. On this day, I started by putting the wrong date in, so I have facts that are not from this day, but don't worry, I've scratched them out.
Great.
A lot of deaths, a lot of deaths. Casey Kasem, who played
I
the
love
original
Casey
voice of
Kasem.
Shaggy.
I actually distinctly remember when Casey Kasem died.
Yeah, I did too. This is thin. He died from dementia, which I
Mhm.
don't think I realized. I remember him dying, but I don't know that I remembered he had dementia.
Yeah.
Um, Daniel Keyes, who wrote Flowers for Algernon,
Oh, yeah. Well,
also
hold
died on
on.
this
Sorry.
day.
Back to Casey Kasem. He was the original voice of Shaggy. He did a lot of voiceover works, but also, I don't know if
Mhm.
you did this, but we did. Casey Kasem hosted the American Top 40. So every Sunday morning, it would be the top 40 songs in the US. So when we were driving to and from church, we would listen
Mhm.
to Casey Kasem on the radio. So, like, I listened to him
Oh.
every week on the radio. And so, like, I knew when he got sick and, like, when he stopped being able to
Mhm.
do the radio. So then I do remember when he died and I knew what it was because he was, like, had to stop the show.
That's how I felt about Kid Craddock.
That's how what?
I felt about Kid Craddock. I listened
Yeah.
to him on the radio all the time, so I remember when he like
Yeah.
wasn't with us anymore. Um, so also Jacques Bergerac, who was most well known, I thought, as an actor. I've heard of him as an actor. He's a French actor, obviously.
Yeah.
But he also was like the owner and maybe like big business partner of Revlon,
Oh,
which I didn't know about. I was
great.
like, he's a pretty big name. I feel like I should have known that he also was like big business partner or big like business
Yeah.
owner of like Revlon. That feels like something I would have known, but I didn't. And it was also the day of the NBA Finals and the Spurs beat Miami Heat. So we are back in that world when Miami has lost again this week. But it was football and not
Right.
basketball. I hate Miami. I don't care. I just hate Miami. So I'm glad when they lose anything. I don't even care about the Spurs. I think they're from San Antonio. I don't even care.
They are.
Um, but I hate Miami, so here we are. Um, Nobody new on the like team. We have directors. Again, I can't remember. Koki Gidrick, the writer Sean Logan, the editors Michelle Conroy. We've talked about all of them. They also did last week's episode. So nothing new. However,
Okay.
I did skip a build cast member to talk about the cast member who we no longer have because I needed to talk about him.
Very
So
fair.
our star of the week, who's only in 2 episodes but feels like a bigger part, is David Warner, who plays Dr. Abraham Van Helsing. Now, this man, what he's known for is Star Trek 6, Tron, Titanic, and In the Mouth of Madness. However, he's also the alternate third Doctor and has done all of the audio, like the audio dramas for Doctor
Hmm.
Who, and is like major in the Doctor Who world, it seems. But that is not what
Yeah.
he was quoted as known for. And I was like, you don't like
Well,
because he
it's
wasn't in the main line, like the
yeah, no,
mainstream.
and it's also so the he is basically so Big Finish is an audio recording production that makes audio dramas of Doctor Who that continues the stories, and they
Yes.
write stories for the doctors that are no longer airing on TV that are like
Mhm.
semi-canon. They're mostly considered canon, but they're like kind of like the things that happen in between. And sometimes they write weird ones where like it couldn't have happened that way, or like
Interesting.
mix companions and stuff. And obviously they don't usually do it about the currently airing Doctor, because that would mess with the canon of the
Right.
show. Um, so they and for a while they were the actors that are still alive, they don't want to just like replace that actor without like permissions and stuff like that, so they spent a lot of time working before they were getting more actors to do it. They spent a lot of time working with the characters that are the doctors that have passed away already. So they did so they had people who have very similar tones to their voice. So yes, he did all of John Pertwee's audio drama stuff. But even within the Doctor Who world, like the audio dramas are not as well known. Like I'll be honest, I've listened to maybe one of them. I know that they
See,
exist. I know that they exist and know
yeah,
some of the stories, but like I don't have time for how many of them there
I
are.
know. Yeah.
Um, so
One
it
of
is,
So one of my groups we're doing like a whole Doctor Who watch, and we have two
mm,
separate channels. So one is going to be for classic Who and one's for modern Who.
okay.
And I'm obviously behind. I haven't picked up much since Capaldi. But I would love to do when I want to get started with classic Who and also incorporate some of these like audio dramas and stuff that kind of like follow the canon. I'd love to do like the deepest of dives,
Yeah.
and that might be a 2027 event.
It's next
But
year's
like,
project.
yeah, but like the way I'm kind of like getting into some of these, like I want to do that with like Dungeon Crawler Carl. I want to do the audio, and I didn't realize like the books have bonus chapters. I don't know if you're familiar with the series. Have you heard of
I'm
it?
not.
Okay, it's wildly insane. I listened to the first one, and it's like this man in a video game, and you're like hearing the video game. It's very crazy, and the audio is insanely good.
Okay.
But apparently there's a bonus chapter in the books, and then the audio has like commercial breaks, quote unquote commercial breaks. And so like I really want like I listened to the first audio, but I want to go back and start over and like really dive into the world. I think like the eighth or ninth one's coming out this year. Um,
Okay.
and so I really want to like focus on doing like a read through and like a kind of like I'm in the process of doing Marvel, but for Doctor Who. So maybe I'll get through Marvel this year. I'm actually quite close on my Marvel. I'm into like modern Marvel. So like I need to just like catch up and then I can
Yeah.
maybe do Doctor Who next.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, so he's big name in the world of and big name in the world of Star Trek. He's done a lot with Star Trek. He
Yeah.
I have a fact. He's played a human, a Klingon, and a Cardassian,
Mhm.
which means nothing to me, in Star Trek. He's also one of, 29 people who have speaking roles of both Star Trek and Doctor Who, I think were the two. Um, and so he's like really into that world too.
Yeah.
He did pass away July 24th of 2022, which was 5 days before his 81st birthday. So he did live 80 years. I mean, he had a very long life.
Yeah.
And uh he did a lot in the horror world, even though he didn't like horror. That's not his genre. But he's played both Jack the Ripper and has played the detective to hunt down Jack the Ripper in different
Yeah.
roles,
Love that.
obviously. Um, he was actually the first one who was cast to be Freddy Krueger. But he had
Oh.
to turn it down because he had a conflicting role. So he ended up not in the Elm Street series. He did, however, star in The Omen, um, which I haven't seen still, but is supposed to be really good. And it's obviously Prime Horror.
Yeah.
Um, he to tie into he did some stage work and stuff too, and he won an Emmy for
Hmm.
Masada. I don't know, I've written it weird, but it's something I'd never heard of. But everything else, obviously it needs for TV. I switched gears. Um, but to tie into our show, he has he played the creature in the 1984 Frankenstein. And he was in the audio drama for Confessions of Dorian Gray, and guess what character he played?
When? What year was it?
Recent, like within the past like 15
Oh.
years.
Oh,
I
so
don't have
not
yeah.
Dorian.
He played Santa Claus.
Amazing. Amazing.
I was like, I don't know what's going on here, but I'm gonna write it down.
Amazing.
Um, and then his partner since 2005 was Lisa Bowerman, who played Professor Bernice Summerfield in the audio dramas for Doctor Who. She was the one of the companions.
Nice.
Um, so he lived a very full life and did a lot of good sci-fi, which he seemed to enjoy, and some horror, which he seemed to not. Um, they even talked about like he's like part Jewish and he played like one of Hitler's regime men like in a couple of different movies, and people were like, he was like, that's the hardest role I ever had to play. And they're like, why did you take it? And he's like, because I needed the money. He was like, I
Right.
needed work at the time. Like sometimes you have to do things just to keep it
Yeah,
going. But he's done like a ton.
not every actor loves everything they've done, but
Mhm.
either you wait tables or you take the shitty roles. Like,
Right, right. And so that's what he did. But yeah, so he lived a life, and
yeah,
I knew I recognized him, but I couldn't like pinpoint him, and I haven't listened to audio dramas, obviously, but
obviously, yeah.
he's lived a life. He's lived a life and done a lot of things, and been in a little bit of everything. So
Love that.
good for him. So if you listened to last week's episode, you know we've taken like a month and a half off.
Yeah,
So we are getting back into it. You only had 2 weeks off, and you are currently active.
yeah.
We have not been. So they had a nice recap at the beginning, which was quite helpful. Because I truly didn't know where we left off,
No.
even a little bit. But we did indeed leave off that Caliban was asking Victor Frankenstein to build him a partner so that he wouldn't be alone. We left off on the conversation with Vanessa and Mina, where she's ghost-like on the beach. We have um, I keep forgetting her Bodie,
Brona.
Brona. I keep forgetting her name. I just keep making stuff. I keep writing her name down as Billy because I keep forgetting her name. Brona and Chandler's character having their big blow up fight after the theater. We have, of course, like a lot of different clips of Vanessa from previous things
Yeah.
and everything. So it kind of it did actually quite a good summary of like where we left off to where we're going.
Yeah.
And so we start with Vanessa and Malcolm, and they are fighting. Emotions are on high because last we saw Malcolm, he had seen the creature or the master in um, Vanessa's room, and he had gotten to the house. Fenton was murdered, like all of this stuff. Um, and so he's really trying to get her to like use her powers for everything to feel more and to learn more about the master. And she's like, I can't do it. She's like, I don't want to tell you. I'm
Hmm.
trying. I've done everything I can. It's not working. I have no idea where he is or what he's doing or why he's here or why he's not. Um, and we go, so then we go over to catch up with Chandler and Brona, and they are done fighting. They have gotten past that he's coming in from his late night out with Dorian Gray.
Which I almost forgot
And
about.
right, I also had forgotten about that. And he is like, and they're chatting, and she's like, "Where have you been?" And he's like, "Oh, I was out with Dory." And she's like, "I'm so sorry for all the things I said. Like, I just want what's best for you. And it's obviously not me. I'm about to die, but I'm glad you're here. Like, I'm glad you
Yeah.
came back or whatever." Um, which is fine and nice. And he's like, she's like telling him like we probably shouldn't kiss anymore, and he just like completely passes that. Obviously, he's not worried about getting sick,
Apparently, yeah.
um, for some unknown reason. Um, and then we go back to Vanessa, who is again trying to figure out what's going on with the master. And so she's done this like tarot spread, and she's trying to like listen to the cards, and after the first two she starts hearing like screaming and looks up at this painting and is like hearing everything. Now I think we only saw two. I did rewind the scene quite a few times to make sure I
We
wasn't
did.
missing the
No, we
cards.
did only see two.
We saw the Five of Cups and the Moon, so I meant to pull up before right this second what that stands for, but I'm doing it right now so I can tell you. So the Five of Cups is represents loss, grief, disappointment, regret, and the Moon tarot card. The Moon signifies illusion, intuition, subconscious fears, and hidden truth. So very spot on for what we're seeing. A lot of
Yeah.
hidden truths, a lot of grief, a lot of death. Yeah, that all tracks. And then of course she hears
Yeah.
the screaming from the painting, which makes it a little more like that. Um, and she's talking to Malcolm about it. She's like, I'm still really unsure. Like, I think that a lot of this has to do with like a ship or some kind of like trade port. He's like, is it the port of London? She's like, I don't know, maybe. Like, seems like something really tragic happened on a ship. There was a lot of death, a lot of grief. Um,
Yeah.
so maybe there was. Um, and we do get a little insight into what that maybe could be in the next scene because we move to the theater and the pretty girl that Caliban is now obsessed with has gone down to the basement or underneath of everything to
Yeah.
tell him that like her blood tube is it's, like catching, and so she needs him to work on it. And she's like, it's clotting up, it's not doing right. Like I need some help with this, and he's like,
Yeah.
sure. And then she starts to tell him her life story about missing her brother, who looks like him because he was burned on a ship or attacked on a ship, and now his face looks the same. Um, and she really misses him. His name is Lucifer. Um, she does come out and she's like, he's not like it's not that Lucifer. Like it means like morning light and stuff. And I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, which is technically true. However, most Lucifers are still pretty demonic.
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe that's the ship incident with the grief and the attacking that Vanessa's referencing. Who's to say? Who's to say? We don't get an answer there. Um, we get a quick scene where Malcolm basically tells Frankenstein like that he's not invited to this African expedition that he's definitely going on any day now.
Yeah.
We just keep getting updates about that. And so then we go to Dorian and Vanessa, who have decided to go out together. They're gonna get to know each other, and they start talking. He's gonna have a guy photographer, and so this is kind of where it ties into what more about the Dorian Gray character I was talking about, because he talks about it like captures a piece of you, and he's like, I'll protect it. Obviously, that's what he's doing
Yeah.
with his own soul that's in the picture. Um, and they're talking about what all of this like symbolism means for photographs and all this stuff. And she says how she's never been photographed, um, or she's never been painted. And the cameraman tells her, he's like, you can look wherever you want. You can look away. You can look at the camera, whatever feels good for you. And this woman just like deadpan stares into the camera. And I was like, those eyes are terrifying.
Yeah.
That is what a way to preserve yourself in a picture. Um,
Hmm.
and so now they're on their way to go and like have dinner, Vanessa and Dorian. Um, and we have a quick jump over to Victor, where he's been making drawings. He's been like watching the ballerinas. They appear to potentially be potential targets for Caliban's like
Yeah.
partner. And when Van Helsing comes in and they start talking about like love and how like everyone should have love, he's like, you can't go on this way forever. And Victor's like, no, he's like, I was afflicted with poetry at a young age, so I'll never find love now. My expectations are too unrealistic. Um,
Same.
and
That happened to
right,
me, but then I met Dan, so it was okay.
yeah. So, well, same. Um, we'll see how it goes. Um, duh, 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 duh. And then we have a quick scene with Brona and Chandler again, duh, 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 about him not loving or about him not staying. Sorry, my notes are quite chaotic.
Well, this episode also just like full disclosure was probably my least favorite episode of the season so far. Like
Yeah,
I did not enjoy it really at all, except for
there's
like the
not a lot
last
that like
every
happens.
no, it's which I guess makes sense because there's 8 episodes, so there's two more, and the end of this episode had like a really big moment, but the rest of the
Mhm.
episode was just kind of moving the pieces to where they need to be for the end
Right.
of the season, and so it was kind of like
Yeah. Because like the next thing we're talking about is the Victor and the Doctor or Van Helsing are talking about the creatures, and he's like, Malcolm doesn't actually know what he's looking for. And this is where we first hear them mention the term vampire.
yeah.
And so they're like, he's looking for vampires. He's like, I know all about this. And he's like, here's the thing I told you about the love of my life earlier, Hannah. But she didn't just like pass away from sickness. She died because I stabbed her heart with a stake and cut her head off. he's like, this is how it is. He's like, and you can't tell Malcolm this is what he's looking for. One, because he's not going to be able to do that to his daughter.
Yeah.
So like you can't, he's like, it's just kind of a hard line that people don't fully understand and they're not ready to hear most of the time. Um, and so he just tells him he can't tell him. Um, and so we go back to our dinner date, and Vanessa and Gray are talking about religion, all of this stuff, and she starts telling him that like there's definitely religion in the world. She's like, but there's also like these trimmers in the world. She's like, this is where I hear a lot about like she's like, I understand that's like unique to me, but I hear these trimmers and I hear these voices and things like they're all kind of like what religion is summed up for is me. For me. And do, 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 do. And so they keep talking about how people's posture and like as they go through the date, they go back to his like paintings and stuff. She's talking about how people's like posture and demeanor like really tells her who they are, along with these like tremors. And he's like, "Oh, what does my demeanor say?" And she's like, "Absolutely nothing." So there's an indicator that he has no soul. But
Well, I mean, if that was your first
sure,
moment of figuring out that
right,
something's off with him, I
yeah,
don't know
yeah.
what you were watching.
Right. He's not, yeah, he's not well, but you know, like physically his soul is gone. It's not just a personality
Oh
trait.
yeah. But
Um,
but also okay, and just so I wanted to look this up, I wanted to make sure. The idea of vampires as like a concept has existed for like almost as long as like folklore and
mhm,
history, but the
yeah,
word vampire was never like translated into English until the 1730s.
yeah.
And the first writings of vampires were in the early 1800s, and Dracula didn't come out till the 1890s. So it's at first watching him be like, I've never heard that word before. I was like, that's
Um,
weird. But it's actually not
it's
weird.
actually not.
It's actually
Yeah.
not weird at all because it wasn't until like the late 19th century, early 20th century that vampires became like a normal part of Gothic fiction.
Right. Right,
Yeah.
right, right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, that is very true. It was a little later on, it felt like, than some other
Yeah, because I
things.
would say this show theoretically supposedly takes place in 1891. Dracula didn't come out till 1896.
Yeah.
So,
So this predates that as well.
yeah.
Yeah. So as they're talking, they talk about like dancing and putting on music, and
Mhm.
he's like, I just want to like feel whatever. And she's like, well, let's put on music for dancing then. I was like, these two are team too much.
Absolutely.
So we go back to our last bit with Victor and the doctor, and they're still walking, they're talking about vampires, they're doing this whole thing and like figuring out kind of what's next. When out of nowhere, Caliban comes and snaps his neck.
That was the first time I felt anything while watching this whole episode.
Yes, yes, correct. Which is also why we need to talk about David Warner instead of
Yeah.
Josh Hartnett, who I'm sure we'll talk about next week, but um, it is not what we're talking about today. Yeah, it just, which was like really shocking because I know like he felt like he played such a small role in the first scene. He felt like a non-recurring character. And then
Yeah.
for him to come back and tell us all about vampires, which we knew he had a lot more knowledge that he wasn't telling us, but to have all this knowledge about vampires, to really be the one to be like, oh, you're really the only one who has this knowledge and can use it because everyone else is too emotional or doesn't know how it works or whatever.
Yeah.
And now you're gone. It's like, well, what do we do next? Because Victor's not the answer.
No, Victor's a little bitch.
Yeah, he can't handle this all on his own. Um,
And Malcolm clearly is not going to be able to do it.
he's no, he's not emotionally stable enough. He's not emotionally strong enough. Um, so I mean, I guess if anybody's gonna kill Mina, it's gonna have to be either Chandler or uh, Vanessa. I think the only two that are like care enough and are strong enough. Like Dorian Gray could probably kill her, but doesn't care about it.
Yeah, he wouldn't
Like,
be a part of it.
right. And same with like Brona, she can't do anything. She's too ill.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah. So we go back to Malcolm, who goes to a vampire den, like the genius he is,
Mm-hmm.
to find Mina, but she's not there. Um, and a fight breaks out. And we go back and forth between like this vampire den fight and Dorian and Vanessa sleeping together aggressively. Um, they are again team too much. They probably make sense together. I hate them together because they are
No, no,
way
no.
too
But
much.
they don't make sense together. They don't make sense together because I mean maybe they do, but no, it's the worst thing that could ever happen.
But it's the
Vanessa,
worst thing that could ever happen. Yeah, for
Vanessa, the
sure.
last time you slept with somebody, it was quite literally a demon. And so
Hmm.
now your next sexual partner is at least they're human, but they are still borderline
Demonic.
possessed. Like there's literally no soul left in his body.
Yeah.
And also, um, I don't know, you're not very far into Dorian Gray, but obviously, um, the things that all the evil that he does gets removed from him. That's why he looks beautiful.
Yeah.
But also, it's not just the evil, it's also the bad. Like, so like the aging stops. And in the way in our version of Dorian, because they won't show us the fucking painting. I don't know if you
Mhm.
noticed that once again they showed him looking at it and didn't show me the fucking
Yeah.
painting. Um,
Yeah.
we don't know how old he is, how long these paintings have gone. We have some
Yeah.
idea based on the portraits around his house
Hmm.
that he's a lot older than
Or
he
older than he
looks.
looks. Yeah.
So like, girl, he's like a 300-year-old soulless borderline demon vampire, and you just opened yourself up to that shit again.
Yeah. Yep. Which we
You
do
don't need
see
tarot. You
because
don't need tarot cards. You need Jesus and a therapist.
correct. Correct. I accidentally agreed with you. Um, but yeah, which we do see because the next thing is she's sleeping with Dorian and starts hearing the voice of the devil again. Which is exciting. Great stuff. Um, and so back with Malcolm, we see the master, and then we see that he has Mina, which maybe he does, maybe he doesn't, maybe it's a vision, we don't know. I never
Which
know what's real and what's
I
not.
never know what's real or not, but that really did feel like it was the first time we actually saw Mina in the whole show.
I think we've lost Mina. I don't think she has that kind of emotion left. Like I think she's
Mm.
like a soulless vampire at this point. Like,
Yeah,
and
I
so
don't
I don't know
know.
that she would care as much other than to like, I don't know. So like again, I don't know what's real and what's not.
Yeah.
But as the building's burning down, they have to leave. They can't get to her. Um, and they're talking afterwards, they're talking about how Ethan tells him, he's like, the only person we really can trust at this point is Vanessa. And he's like, you really trust her? Like Malcolm, who she's worked with for years, is like, you really trust her? And he's like, she's really the only person I trust. Like, absolutely. We need to
Yeah.
like do this. Um, and then we go to naked Dorian Gray wandering around because when she hears the devil, she runs off. And she runs off to Malcolm, and Malcolm tells her he wants to be honest. There's something he needs to tell her. When she starts spinning and floating in the air,
Uh-huh.
and that is the end of the episode. So, um, what are your thoughts?
Um, Obviously the ending was setting us up for the next two episodes in the end of the season. I
Mhm.
think it's I'm really curious what they're gonna do, how they're gonna wrap this up, or what they're going to what parts of it they're going to wrap up. I don't necessarily I don't know enough about the show to know if like different seasons have different fictional characters or like if the whole show is based on these same characters. Like I don't really know enough to know where that's going.
Yeah.
Um I did not like this episode because other than me Vanessa being repossessed, I did not feel like and Van Helsing dying, I did not feel like there was a single plot point in the episode.
Yeah. Mhm.
Like Frankenstein learned the term for vampire and then Caliban killed Van Helsing. And then Ethan and Malcolm decided that they're going to have to fully trust Vanessa, but only just kidding, don't because she's possessed again. Like that was that's I could have done this entire podcast episode with those 3 sentences.
Yeah, 100%. Because like it felt like they were like, we said we were gonna do 8 episodes, so now we have to figure out how to get to eight
Which is
episodes.
probably
Like,
why the next 2 seasons are not 8 episodes.
correct. Yeah, yeah, that's definitely how it feels. Um, but yeah, so I agree. There wasn't a lot that went on in this episode. It really felt like they also took a break for a month and a half and then came back with this episode so you could remember who everyone was and what they were doing.
Well,
So
especially
like,
because the last episode was so good.
The last episode was so good,
The
so
Vanessa Mina
intense.
flashback episode was so good, and then I was bored
Yeah,
the whole time.
I know. I told Mary Kate before we started, I watched this episode 3 times. One because my brain was just like not paying attention to it, and like so I kept feeling like I was gonna forget stuff, but also nothing was happening. And so I was like, what do I
Right.
do now? And so
Yeah.
I literally watched this episode 3 times. Twice yesterday and once this morning.
Yeah, no,
Um,
like I said, the end was good. Reed Carney is adorable when his eyes light up talking about all the things he loves about being unique, but I don't like Dorian, so like it's not like I am there for
right.
that. So it's like whatever.
Yeah. I don't have any trivia. I've already told you the trivia was mainly like the tarot cards and
Yeah.
whatnot. I do have one goof. Victor talks about echolocation being used by bats. However, it wasn't discovered until 1930, and the term wasn't coined until 1940. So it's not
Yeah, that makes sense.
a relevant thing right now, but we are using it anyways.
Listen, also the timing of everything in this doesn't really make sense because
Yeah,
they're the era of Gothic novels was not short.
yeah.
And so Frankenstein was published in 1814. Dracula was not published till 1896. The difference in technology from the one to the other was massive. The 1800s were a huge time for technological revolution. What Frankenstein does and the galvanizing and the creating the monster was based on the scientific principles of the late 1790s. It is not what they would have known about science in 1890, but you can't
Right.
write Frankenstein's story if you don't do that. So they just kind of like made up a time period for the
Hmm.
show anyway. And so while I'm loving the literature and the actual like horror aspects, I don't want to nitpick things about like when science terms came to be because the whole show is based on a premise of an entire century being a decade, and that's not true.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah.
so
For sure, for sure. Um, yeah, no, totally agree. Um, yeah, but that's all I really have to say about it. Who do you want to punch in the face?
oh, Dorian.
Mm,
It's
mhm.
I guess some of it's not really his fault. Um, like it's not really his fault that Vanessa got
Right.
repossessed by having sex with him, but like
Sure, sure.
also, ew, you just like slept with Ethan the night before and now you're sleeping with Vanessa and like, ew,
Mhm.
just I
Like,
don't know.
chill out.
Chill
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Like, I get it.
You got a whole life ahead of you.
Listen, I get it. You can't get diseases. You can't get negative guilt. You can't have any bad feelings. You're soulless. All your terrible deeds get tossed into a box. I get it. That's fine.
Mhm.
Can we stop fucking in the same family circle? Like, these people are
Right.
all friends.
Yeah,
If you're gonna be a promiscuous slut, do it with people who don't know each other.
yeah. Because so
Because
far he's
now,
now slept with
because,
Brona, Ethan, and Vanessa.
right. Like, who's
Yeah.
next? Victor?
Or Malcolm, that's who we have left.
Or, what's his name?
Caliban?
Oh God. No, the butler.
Keep forgetting his name.
I
But
keep
yeah,
forgetting his name. So
yeah.
yeah, but
I know. I know. That's totally fair. He's a good pick. I'm gonna go with Caliban. I
or
understand he's had a hard life, but
but no, no, fuck his hard life. Fuck his
yeah,
hard
that doesn't
life.
mean you get to kill Van Helsing. He didn't do anything to you. And now you're torturing also Victor, who arguably did.
Right. And
But
like here's the thing.
also,
I completely understand that the whole theme of the novel of Frankenstein is what
Mhm.
ambition and abandonment do to the people around you. And I get that the monster is not supposed to be, we're supposed to feel bad for him. Even though he murders people, he kills people, and we're supposed to say, well, it's not his fault.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, a lot of the things he did, not really his fault. Except for I don't feel bad for Calvin. They have not made him a
No.
sympathetic monster. He's a fucking prick. They have
Yeah,
made
I was
this
sad when I first met him.
they have somehow made Victor Frankenstein more sympathetic than the monster, which is a wild take.
Yeah. Yeah. hmm Absolutely. So
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
that's why I picked Caliban. So
Yeah.
who's your MVP?
Ethan, because
Yeah.
he's just like nice to everyone, and even though he's probably in way over his head, and he definitely has secrets that we don't know about, he at
Mhm.
least is like trying to make sure that everyone is a fucking decent human being.
Yeah, I would have also gone with him first. But because you did, I'm gonna go with Van Helsing because he
Yeah.
is trying to help and he's trying to like make sure that he's not giving all the secrets of the world away to the people who can't do anything with it, and also like be involved, but from a logical and scientific standpoint. But he's dead. But I like him. He's my MVP. So
You do often give awards to dead people, so
I do, but I'm pretty. But usually I'm punching them, so I guess
that's
that's
true.
like an
Yeah,
improvement.
it is.
Yeah, so that is our episode. We have two more episodes left in the season. Next episode for the podcast is Stargate SG-1, episode 18. Season 8, episode 15. It is interesting. Well, I'm sure there's a lot to say about it. Wait to see. In the meantime, you can follow us on all the social media at Death and Aliens. You can email us at deathandaliens@gmail.com. You can find me at CECloud13.
And you can follow me everywhere at ENKAY_superstar.
And we'll see you on Sunday for Sci-Fi Sunday.
Bye.
Bye!